And welcome to the school committee meeting of Monday, February 14th, 2022, a very special Valentine's Day edition. First on tonight's agenda, we have our acceptance of meeting minutes. We'll be looking to entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes of January 24th, 2022.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion.
Second.
And we have a second. All those in favor? That's a vote. Thank you. Next up, under reports, we have monthly reports for January. We'll be entertaining 4 motions to approve reports for administrators, guidance, nurse, and pupil personnel services.
4 motions to approve.
We have 4 motions.
In 4 seconds?
And we have 4 seconds. All those in favor? Thank you. That is a vote. Next up, for your information, we have school newsletters for Eston Jefferson Memorial Park, the middle school, and the high school. All extraordinarily well done, as always, keeping everybody informed. And it occurs to me, just as I'm reading it, it won't be a whole lot longer that we'll be having 3 separate reports for elementary schools. As I drive by that school out back, looking to have an amazing progress every day. Moving on, next we have item C, our building rentals, which our buildings in their facilities are as busy as ever, which is great. It's great to see our community using our town and schools facilities. Next up, item 4 under old business, we have a Phelps Elementary School update. Mrs. Davidson, do you have anything on that for us tonight?
The only thing I have is that we have a meeting tomorrow via Zoom to reconvene for this month. And just as everyone has said in the past, the building is coming along great. Obviously, Dan just mentioned driving by. It looks fantastic. I drove by tonight. Some lights were on, so you could really get a picture for it. It looks great. So if there's any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us. And that's about it.
I've seen the windows going on. I'm sure the guys working and girls working inside really appreciate getting in from some of that weather, but it really does look awesome. Dr. Cron, anything to add on the building update?
Nothing to add, just exciting.
Yeah, it really is. Really is. Starting to really see it take shape and really see the great stuff come about down there. Okay, next up, moving on under old business, under item B, we have our COVID update. Dr. Cron?
Thank you. The Commissioner of Education has lifted the school mask mandate effective Monday, February 28th. So as of Monday, February 28th, masks will no longer be required in the Rockland Public Schools. Our home antigen tests have been distributed to 727 students and 283 staff members to be used this coming Sunday and the Sunday before they return from February vacation. Last Friday during our vaccine clinic, we administered 38 pediatric vaccines and we boosted 39 students. And finally, as of today, we only have 3 cases, 2 students at Rogers Middle School and 1 student at Jefferson, and 0 staff are currently positive. And that is the COVID update.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions?
I'd just like to say it's great to see the low count of students, and obviously no staff is great. And how, after the release or the notification from the Commissioner of Education, were the students and faculty happy about the mask mandate, nervous?
Incredibly quiet.
Okay.
No feedback. So I take that as a positive. I think in general people are happy to see us returning to normalcy. I'm very excited to see students' faces again. I know teachers are. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Anyone else? I think return to normalcy is really a great word for that. I mean, most central focus is our kids and kids going to school, and things are starting to sort of get back to normal across life, but it's really great to see it happen, certainly in our schools. I had to stop by one of our elementary schools the other day to pick up a gym bag that a certain basketball coach had left behind at one of them. And I got talking to the school secretary, and she was commenting on how excited she is to see some of the kindergarten and first graders' faces for the first time, and that sort of struck me, and I think that that's really great. I'm really excited for the kids to be able to see their teachers' faces and vice versa, but also just that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully we won't be going backwards but only forwards from here on out. With that being said, we'll move right on to item C, our FY23 budget update. Dr. Cron.
Thank you. You've seen this before. I just wanted to reiterate the February 1st budget number from the town is $28,460,272. We are very, very pleased with the increase that we saw from Chapter 70. We're appreciative of the governor's budget. It's obvious that the governor looked at a number of factors and decided to err on the side of generosity when it comes to Chapter 70. And so that leaves us with an operating deficit of $70,300. I don't want to understate the importance of a deficit, but it's not out of the ordinary to have a deficit, to operate that way. So we're very, very pleased with the budget and looking forward to our continued work with the town. We have a meeting coming up with the Finance Committee, and again, everything with the budget seems to be going very, very smooth. So we're very happy with that. And that is the budget update.
Excellent. Any questions or concerns for Dr. Crown about the budget update? We always like good
No
news.
questions.
Very good
Jane's not
news.
here.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You'll let us know when FinCom is?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep, I will.
Yeah, good news is always well received here. And we really appreciate our partners throughout the town and our colleagues throughout the town, those that are serving on FinCom, Board of Selectmen. This is not easy work, and we appreciate all the volunteers that step up their time to be able to do it.
Absolutely.
Next up, under old business, item D, we have an ARPA update. Dr. Cron.
Excellent. So the American Rescue Plan Act, or otherwise known as ARPA, it's coming in 2 tranches of funds. And the second installment of $941,000 is available for distribution beginning this June throughout the town. So we're working with the town on that. Last year, we received $592,000 in revenue replacement loss for revolving accounts. A new allocation of the ARPA funds of $3,388,760 is being administered through the town, through Plymouth County over the next few years. So we're working closely with the town on that tranche of money. Currently, of that $3,847,000 is available. Eligible costs, this is just kind of a reminder, this is how this money may be used for water and sewer, broadband, revenue loss, premium pay, which is pay for low-wage workers during the pandemic, so that's what premium pay stands for. Negative economic impacts, which pretty much covers anything else. And public health response, in particular, we're looking at the cost of our testing program and other things that fall under these categories. So we are working with the town very closely, especially in the areas of revenue replacement and public health response for the ARPA money. But that's just an update, and again, we're working closely with the town on this, and we're very grateful to have access to these funds.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to our last item on old business is item E, our cafeteria bid. Dr. Cron.
So we had 2 successful bidders and 2 successful bid contractors for the cafeteria, and we would like, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the company now. Good Lord Almighty.
Chartwells?
Chartwell's
Thank
is
you
who we
very
use
much,
now.
Chairman. Yes, and we are asking that the school committee allow us to accept the Chartwell's bid for the contract. We've been very happy with Chartwell's. They've worked well with us, and that's what we would like to do going forward. So I'm asking that the committee vote to accept the Chartwell's bid for cafeteria contract for 2022-23.
Any questions about the matter?
I'm assuming it's a better bid than the other bid?
You know, financially, they're supposed to be somewhat equal, and you're also supposed to not, interestingly, it's a specific type of bid where you're not supposed to focus so much on the cost, although obviously it's a factor, but you're looking at the quality of service. So I believe that the 2 bids are both in the same ballpark. It's a if we did this perfectly, we would break even every year. we would make enough money so that we could replace equipment that goes down and things like that. But otherwise, it really should be a zero sum. But Chartwell's does seem to each year show us a slight profit, and it allows us to replace any damaged or aging equipment. So we've been very happy with our relationship with Chartwell's. And quite honestly, as I go through the cafeterias and I see what food the kids are eating, I'm proud of the food that our kids are being served. And I know that Chartwell's takes that seriously, and I feel like they're a good partner with us.
Excellent. Any other questions about it? So we'll be looking to entertain a motion to approve Chartwell's cafeteria bid.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We do. All those in favor? That's a vote. Thank you very much. Next up, under item 5, under tonight's agenda is new business. Under new business, item A, we have some requests for fundraisers. The Memorial Park PAC is going to be running a couple of fundraisers. They're going to be running a farmhouse bakery cookie kit fundraiser in March of '22, and they will also be doing a gold coin exchange in March of '22. The Rockland High School class of 2023 is going to be doing a junior versus senior boys volleyball tournament on the 24th, 28th, and 30th of March. They're going to be selling T-shirts, tickets, and concessions. So we'll be looking for 3 motions to approve 3 fundraisers.
3 motions to approve?
We have 3 motions. Do we have 3 seconds?
3 seconds?
We do. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Next up, we have a request for approval of homeschooling. Dr. Cron, do you have a recommendation?
I do. I recommend that we approve this request for a home education program.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the committee? We'll be looking for a motion to approve this request for homeschooling.
A motion to approve?
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you very much. Next up, under item C, we have our Rockland High School Program of Studies, which is enclosed in our packets. Dr. Cronin, I know we have Dr. Harrison here with us this evening.
If there are any questions, we could ask Dr. Harrison. Or if you have a few things you'd like to say about the changes, John.
Sure. I'll just run through a few of the changes. First of all, thank you to Ms. Black, the Director of Guidance. She's been very thoughtful and hardworking in her efforts to put the new program of studies together. She has a great relationship with the guidance directors across the South Shore, and they are always comparing course offerings to make sure we're not missing anything and to try to encourage our department chairs to include new offerings. So I appreciate all the work Ms. Black as well as the department heads have put in to the process. The site council also did vote on this. So our site council, which consists of parents, students, and teachers, they also recently at our last meeting voted to approve it. So I appreciate their efforts in looking over the document. But just some of the highlights this year. Next year we'll be proposing to offer advanced placement in European history. This is a new advanced placement offering, and what this does for our students who really are excited about history, instead of taking 2 years of United States history, they can take world history their freshman year, then take AP European history sophomore year, and then junior year take AP US history, and then AP psychology. So we're really building up that history and social science course sequence for those students who are really excited about history. Previously, they had to take 2 years of U.S. history, which they can still do if they decide to take the Honors US 1 or the College Prep US 1 and then the US 2 the following year. But we felt we needed to offer some more advanced placement courses sophomore year. So that was one of the pushes there. Some other courses, Advanced Woodworking 2. This course I'm really excited about. I think the kids are going to be happy about. Blockbuster movies and the music that made them. So just to kind of read you a line from it is they're going to break down the music behind some of the world's greatest blockbuster movies such as Jaws, Superman, Star Wars. So sometimes you hear the music and you're not really sure the why and the history. So Mr. Piazza is going to teach that elective. Criminal Justice, Holocaust and Human Behavior, Introduction to Computer Science, Sports History, and then a bunch of business courses, Introduction to Business, Marketing, Entrepreneurship, and Personal Finance. We felt our program of studies was significantly missing business course offerings. So by adding this in, we feel like it's going to appeal to a different layer of student interests. In particular, personal finance is a course every year the students indicate on our end of the year surveys, mortgages, banking, credit cards, loans, investing, home equity. They want to know more of that information. So we're excited about having that as an elective course. I should also tell you all the history courses that were proposed, because a lot of them are from the history department. The history department gave out a survey to the students. So those electives were chosen by the students, which I think is kind of neat. The last thing in the program of studies that's different, and we're piloting it this year, is called the Seal of Biliteracy. The Seal of Biliteracy is a program that's sponsored by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. What it is for any student who demonstrates proficiency in English and any other language, whether they speak a non-English language at home or have learned it in the school, they can receive a special seal on their transcript. What that does is they're saying they're bilingual. Giving them that distinction that they're bilingual. It's appealing in terms of employment. It's appealing for their transcripts. It is one way of us embracing as a school language diversity. What they have to do to get the seal is they have to get proficient or above on their MCAS English, and they have to get a intermediate score by taking a language placement test. In their other language, whether it's Spanish or French, which we offer at the high school, or for a lot of our students, Portuguese, because that's their home language. One of our goals with the Seal of Biliteracy is to give our students and our staff who teach in world language that credibility that what they're teaching. Our goal long term as we build the middle school program, if you take a full year in 7th and 8th grade of a world language, you get to Spanish 5 or French 5, in the high school, they should be able to get a seal of biliteracy and show proficiency in French and Spanish. So every student should be able to eventually, hopefully, if they want, take 4 years at the high school plus a year at the middle school and get the seal. So we just want it to be on par with many schools in the Commonwealth. So including the seal will be one way to do that. We have about 11 students signed up for the pilot that are taking it on March 29th in the library. That's the program of studies changes.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Harrison. Are there any questions about the program of studies? Mrs. Hennessy?
These all look really amazing. I was super excited to see some of the new offerings. Are any courses coming off? And what things are you seeing kind of, not necessarily go away, but cycle through if, I didn't quite go through the whole pamphlet to look at what is coming off. I did see the highlights of what's being added, but I didn't compare.
All right.
And if you don't have it, I'm just curious if you're seeing, certain electives not have an interest by the students.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. So we rotate a lot of our electives so that law is not going to run next year, because I think everybody that's wanted to take law the last 8 years has had a chance to take law. So criminal justice is going to be a course. Students who maybe have wanted to take law, they've previously taken it. Now they can graduate from Rockland High School taking law and criminal justice. So law won't be offered next year. History through film, music and film, those are 3 that won't be offered. I'm kind of going through by departments. You'll notice that previously we had an elective called networking and systems. Those courses were unique to the teacher, Ms. Armstrong, who's left.
Yep.
So we're replacing it with a more general elective, intro to computer science. Pretty much that's, as I'm going through each department, that's pretty much the ones that aren't running off my memory. In the program of studies, it'll say in parentheses, not offered during the 2022-2023 year.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I just wanted to comment, I think I said a similar thing to this last year, but I love the variety of choices that Rockland High offers, that we're trying to encompass every student, not just this style student or this style student. There's AP courses, there's lots of activities for kids that learn more hands-on. There's just a vast variety of choices, and I think it's just exciting, even just as a parent with a daughter going in as freshman year, to be able to say, look at all the choices you get to have. Look at anything you want to be. Who do you want to be? And it's not just mine. It's all these other kids. And it's just super that your team has taken the time to figure all this out and give us more and more and more each year. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I just have a comment on the draft program. I believe you're missing Dr. Small.
Thank you. Yep. We got that this
Okay.
afternoon, but thank you.
That's all.
And just for me, just to sort of reiterate what Mrs. Maroney said, just the amount of opportunity that is available and the variety of opportunity that's available to Rockland High School students really is outstanding and exciting. The three that I was really excited about on looking at this at home, and a couple of them you mentioned tonight, was the seal of biliteracy. I think is just an amazing opportunity for Rockland kids that become proficient in 2 languages to be able to have that opportunity to carry on to a college or a career after that. But then also, personal finance, I'm really excited about. I mean, that's a really important life skill, I think, that sometimes is maybe undereducated in homes and in schools, and it's something that I don't care what you choose to do with your life, what career you choose, what path you choose after high school, we all have to sort of navigate our own personal responsibility and personal finance, and I think it's great that the Rockland students are going to have the opportunity to learn about that. I think that's outstanding, and then I really like the entrepreneurship course as well. We talk a lot about how in Rockland schools where our aim is to educate kids for careers that may not even exist yet, and isn't that what entrepreneurship is, right? To be able to see a very quickly changing environment and economy around us and be able to identify areas in which our students can be prepared to be able to navigate the business environment going forward. So I'm excited about the program of studies. I'm excited about the changes to it. And great job. I know this is a lot of work.
Thank you.
Yeah, if I could just throw in, I think when I think about the success of the district, I think about the program of studies and the schedule that we run at the high school. And I think Dr. Harrison and Margie Black are both to be commended on the development of such a comprehensive program of studies. We are a small-ish district with a small-ish high school, and it's technically very challenging to offer as thorough and comprehensive as we would like a program of study. So it's always a balancing act with our particular size. And I just want to commend Dr. Harrison and Margie for outstanding work as usual. I'm very proud of this program of studies and would be proud to carry it around and wave it around because it's sort of, it symbolizes really what our educational system is all about here. So I hope the town is proud of it. They should be. And I hope they get a chance to look at it. It's pretty impressive.
It is impressive. Look at it. It's
Very
like,
impressive.
When I pulled it out to go through it, I was like, whoo.
Yeah.
You know,
Very
it's
impressive.
Made the font bigger.
Double
Very
spaced.
impressive.
All the tricks.
All the tricks.
Well, thank you, Dr. Harrison. Thank you, Ms. Black. And at this point now, we'll be looking to entertain a motion to approve the Rockland High School program of studies.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? That is a vote. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Harrison.
Thanks, Dr.
Thank you.
Harrison.
Next, under new business, item D, we have our Rockland High School NEASC report, which is enclosed in our packets. Dr. Cron, Dr. Harrison.
Yeah, I don't know if you have anything you'd like to add.
Sure. Just a few thank yous. Thank you to the whole school committee, because I know you were part of this process back in September. Dr. Cron and his central office team have been extremely supportive from when this process started in 2018 till when we got the report back last week. The process really includes parents, students, and teachers at the high school predominantly, as well as Rich McAllister and Greg Rowe, who are the NEAS co-chairs. So they were just phenomenal from start to finish. They do it voluntarily, so I appreciate all their help. This process began in 2018 with a self-study. We produced a large document, about 100 pages, that talked about how Rockland High School was either meeting or not meeting the 38 indicators for accreditation. This process happens really once every 10 years. So we did the self-study back in 2018-19. They came and visited, representatives from all across New England, about 4 of them, all in education. And they did what's called a collaborative conference. In that meeting, and that was in the spring of 2019, they basically said, this is what you're doing great, this is what you need to work on. From that document that they gave us, we created a school growth plan. In that school growth plan, NEASC had recommended 7 things we needed to work on. So there were 7 priority areas. So just to remind people what they were, we had to get the curriculum written in a common template. We had to start using our core values and beliefs about learning and a vision of the graduate to drive student learning and professional practices so that they were more ingrained in our school culture. We had to work on developing a school-wide understanding for the revision of student work and makeup work so that each department had a policy that supports it, so it's more consistent across departments. We had to encourage all students to embrace civic engagement and social and personal responsibility. We had to create more targeted interventions and systems of support for monitoring various at-risk subgroups. We had to develop more instructional practices and use them that promoted more active learning within the school. And we had to include more formative assessments and summative assessments that were more authentic, that promoted real-world learning. Those were the growth areas that were identified 2 years ago or 3 years ago at this time. That's what we really spent the last 3 years working on in the middle of the pandemic. So then we got the report back. They came in September. They checked on how the progress we made on those 7 priority areas. It came back very positive, the document, as you read through it. A lot of times you get an ES report and you're looking, is there any critical need that we have to do in a year or 2 years? We actually have nothing that we have to really do within a year or 3 years. We have a nice 10-year window or 8-year window before they start the process again, where we can really work on some of the things that came out as recommendations, which I'll talk about in a second. Some of the things they did highlight as things they thought Rockland High School is doing really well. And the things that we do really well are a testament to really the entire district, because I always say a high school kid is successful because of the work they do from K to 12. And a lot of these things I mentioned are K to 12 things. So just a kudos to the district. The curriculum was developed, number 1 commendation, the development of the curriculum in a consistent format. The school's commitment to promoting equity and inclusion. The school's development of a philosophy on the revision of student work and the makeup of work. The development of a restorative approach to support students with attendance issues. The myriad of support services available to promote students' academic success as well as their social emotional well-being. The one-to-one device technology, the Chromebook initiative. The increased use of high-quality formative assessments to inform instruction. And then the staff's willingness to embrace technology to enhance instructional and assessment practices. So those were the commendations that are on page 46 of the document. The recommendations, which is on page 47, these are the things that we'll be working on over the next few years. So when you see the school improvement plan that you'll vote on in the spring for approval, these items will all be in there. Developing, implement a formal curriculum review cycle. So now that we have the curriculum written, what's the review cycle look like? Revise the vision of the graduate to make it more meaningful for all stakeholders. Examine the impact of the school-wide philosophy that's on revision of student work and figure out, is it working? And especially, is it working for the high-need students that may struggle? Expand the use of inclusive practices within the classroom to support students' social emotional health, which I think is very relevant and current given the times that we're living in. Develop and implement a plan for the purposeful use of technology to support the curriculum and instructional practices. So finding that perfect balance of not overusing technology and underusing it, but finding that perfect balance. Developing and implementing summative assessment practices that allow students to lead their own learning. We have to do more of that. And engaging activities that are student-centered and real-world oriented across all curricular areas. So there's definitely a push for more authentic learning. So students are leaving understanding why they're learning things. There's definitely a push on those initiatives, which I think are great. And that's a summary.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Dr. Harrison?
No questions, but just kudos to the team. I know a lot of work went into this. I think we've seen pieces of it, and it's great to see the results of what the commission has come back at, and look forward to the goals that you set to see how you expand on the recommendations and what really is going to be practical and put into place. So,
And
thank
this
you.
report goes to the town hall, it goes on the website, and it goes to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So after we have this meeting, hopefully we'll put it on those, we'll share it with all those stakeholders.
And it's a good 50 pages for those that want to read it when it's on the site.
All right, thank you, Dr.
Thank
Harrison.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Harrison.
Dr. Harrison.
Next on tonight's agenda, under new business, is daycare parent staff policy and procedure handbook. Dr. Cron.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any questions from the committee. They added a couple forms at the end, emergency medical care consent form and a first aid and emergency medical care consent form. Other than that, I believe the handbook has remained the same. I don't know if there are any questions from the committee.
Any questions, concerns?
No
No,
question.
Oh, everything looked great.
Do you know why they're putting the forms in the back of the book? Is it to replace the ones that go home every year that they have to fill out?
I'm not sure. I think,
guess,
yeah,
Or is it the,
I think
is it the emergency contact?
probably required by EEC
Okay.
is my best guess. Yeah.
Because they're the normal forms that we all get at the beginning of the year or when you enroll a student to fill out emergency contact. So I was just
Right.
curious why they were in the handbook. So.
Is anybody comfortable making a motion to approve the daycare parent handbook?
Motion to approve the handbook?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you. That is a vote. Next on tonight's agenda is our superintendent's report. Dr. Cron?
And I have nothing tonight.
Nothing tonight.
Nothing
Very
tonight.
good. Well, thank you very much.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day indeed.
Valentine's Day.
All right. Well, last but certainly not least on our agenda is public service announcements. We'll start with Mrs. Hennessy.
Well, I love watching the calendar. It's on my fridge. So reminders, half day on Thursday. Monday is President's Day. That leads right into school vacation week. So just wanted to wish everyone, students, families, parents, caregivers, staff, everyone have a great week. Hopefully we don't get too much snow. Unless you're going skiing and going north, maybe you do want the snow. But I hope everyone has a good break and stay safe.
Thank you. Mrs. Davidson.
I would like to congratulate the newest members of the National Juniors Honor Society. I'd also like to congratulate Julia Eli on hitting 1,000 points in the women's basketball team. And then I know on this Friday, 3 wrestlers from the Rockland wrestling team are going to states, so I wish them all the best of luck. That's all I have.
Outstanding. Thank you. Mrs. Maroney.
I also wanted to congratulate Julia Eli for her 1,000 points. What an outstanding accomplishment, and kudos to you. Way to show some Bulldog pride. So thanks for representing us well. And now, after today's snow day, I wanted to update everyone. The last day of school is June 22nd. We'll be here before we know it. That's all I have.
Excellent.
Happy Valentine's Day.
1,000 points. It's pretty
1,000 points,
remarkable,
can you imagine?
right?
That's amazing.
That's pretty remarkable, pretty amazing. Congratulations to Julia and her family. What a great accomplishment for them to share together and for our whole school community to share with her. An amazing achievement, and I know she should be very proud of herself. Coming up, on behalf of Rockland Youth Lacrosse, registration for this spring's youth lacrosse season will end on Sunday. So everyone go out and get registered. First-timers are very welcome. It's a great sport. It's a great community, a lot of great kids as a part of it. So we're looking forward to warmer days and lacrosse sticks in hand. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out on Facebook. And other than that, I don't really have a whole lot. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. But with that, last thing to do would be to entertain a motion to conclude.
Motion to adjourn?
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
And a second.
And a second. All those in favor? That's a vote. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Thanks.